like fish. I'm going to say I love it, but I like it. I enjoy seafood. I enjoy many of the bounties that the Great Sea has to offer. I enjoy it even more when it's not tainted with racism and racist fishermen, and that brings me to the topic of today's editorial piece. Now, if you look at it broadly, you think, well, it's just fishermen fighting over fish. Not a big deal. But on second thought, this is a big deal because it involves white Acadians versus local Mi'kmaq indigenous people who have the right to fish above anyone else. So apparently here in Nova Scotia, we have had recent issues that have turned pretty violent, not on the indigenous end, on the Acadian end, over fishing rights in commercial waters. So apparently, as the story goes, Acadian fishermen have the bulk of commercial licenses and get the bulk of commercial licenses every single year to fish and make a killing. Indigenous, unfortunately, do not get as many licenses, and so therefore they are not able to take advantage of the waters that belong to them. Now, finally, indigenous people are like, you know what, enough is enough. We want to have a commercial fishery. We want to start getting some of this bag. And now the Acadians are mad because they don't want to share part of a billion-dollar industry with the local Mi'kmaq. Now, that's a problem here because it represents to me, as a permanent resident Canadian and an American, of the constant history that white people have of coming into a land that has indigenous people and taking from them resources and tools and support and knowledge. And then as soon as they get a leg up and get to a higher position, or what they feel is a higher position in society, they go ahead and forget who helped them get there. And this is a perfect example of that. Now, I love Acadians. I have no problem with Acadian people, so please don't take offense. But if you're going to act like because you're Acadian, you're better than me, or someone who looks like me, or has the same skin tone as me, or because I don't parlez-vous, that's a fucking problem. And I don't like that. But this is exactly what the situation is. The Acadians want to go ahead and say, oh, well, 1755 and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? In 1755, when the Europeans that were here didn't want you, the Anglophones, the indigenous were the people that came to your aid. They were the ones that helped you, gave you resources, took you in, supported you. And now because you have a leg up politically and socially, and because the system now is unbalanced, where you now make more money, have more opportunity, have better living conditions, have more chances to earn money, and go further than the indigenous people who helped you, now you feel you can shit on them? No, you can't. You can't. And let's be clear, that treaty in 1725 didn't give the indigenous rights to do a damn thing. Those rights to the land and the water are sovereign, meaning they're theirs just by birth. That treaty was only made for white people to find something to read and respect, because me just telling you as an indigenous person that I have more rights than you apparently wasn't good enough. So I had to get a document drafted that said, okay, here are these rights, and here you go. That's the only reason why the treaty was drafted. But make no mistake, the Mi'kmaq have the rights to the waters, and they have the right to earn a living. And all they want is a decent, fair living. That's the thing about racism. And that's the thing that always blows my mind, is that the oppressed always only want equality. They're not looking to take your place. They're not looking to take the power. They just want their fair share. And racist individuals, for whatever reason, that's not good enough. And that, for me, is a huge problem. So, I'm very happy to hear about the Clearwater deal. I'm glad they're going to have a seat at the table, 50% share. That's amazing. But understand something, and I'll say it again. That treaty did not give them anything. They were born with that right. The indigenous people, the Mi'kmaq people, were born, and still have the right to this day to hunt and fish wherever the fuck they choose. And you, as an Acadian non-indigenous person, are merely a guest on borrowed time. And it looks like your time is up. That's my opinion. Take care. Till next time.